So you want to understand our crazy modern world of information? Well, we're going to do it by telling a story, a really strange story. It's about a blind Bulgarian psychic who died decades ago, but somehow is more influential now than ever. Let's get into it.
Our story actually starts right on the front lines in Ukraine. It's 2022, and Ukrainian intelligence intercepts a phone call. On the line is a Russian soldier, and he's trying to calm down his wife, who is absolutely hysterical, just begging him to come home. Now, you'd think she's reacting to some news report, right? Or maybe some military briefing. Nope. The reason she's so terrified is a prophecy from a psychic named Baba Vanga. For her, this wasn't some silly old wives' tale. This was a cold, hard, terrifying truth, a truth that was shaping her entire reality of the war.
And that just raises these huge questions, right? I mean, who was this woman, Baba Vanga? And maybe the more important question is why? In our so-called age of information, why are so many people, from the wife of a soldier on the front lines to literally millions of people online, still hanging on her every word?
I mean, to really get a sense of the scale here, just look at this number. Over 700,000. That's how many searches there were in Russia every single month in 2023, just for Vanga's predictions. This isn't some dusty old historical footnote. She is a massive, living, breathing presence online, right now.
Okay, so first things first, let's talk about the making of a prophet. Because to really understand her crazy influence today, you've got to go back. You have to see how this whole legend was built in the first place. And here's the kicker. This wasn't just some local folk hero. Oh no. It was something way, way stranger. We're talking about a state-sponsored psychic. So Vanga's life pretty much covers the whole 20th century. She was born back when it was the Ottoman Empire, and as a teenager, she lost her sight in this really bizarre storm. And that's when she said her gift started to emerge. But the real turning point, the part you've got to pay attention to, is 1966. That's when the communist government of Bulgaria actually made her an official subject of study. And get this, after she died in 96, her fame didn't just fade away, it exploded. It went completely supernova thanks to the internet. And this is where the story gets really, really weird. I mean, think about the contradiction here. On the one hand, you have the communist state, which is officially atheist. They're telling everyone that superstition is false consciousness and it needs to be stomped out. But then, behind closed doors, they're treating Vanga not as some fraud, but as a legitimate scientific phenomenon. A phenomenon that was worth serious state-funded research. And I mean, they really went for it. They didn't just dabble, they created a whole department, the Institute of Suggestology, pretty much just to study her. They put her on the government payroll. You had to pay a fee to see her, and they'd give you these questionnaires to fill out, all to track her accuracy. And the guy in charge, the lead researcher, he eventually came out and claimed she had a 70% success rate. So you see what's happening, right? Right from the start, her mystical power was being mixed with the official sounding authority of science and data. All right, that brings us to Russia's prophesied glory. This whole mix of psychic power and official, scientific-ish validation, it perfectly set the stage for her most politically explosive prophecy, one that you can imagine is echoing really loudly today. So let's do a little detective work. Let's trace this one powerful prediction all the way back to where it came from. Okay, so this is the big one. The prophecy, supposedly from 1979, says that Russia will just sweep everything out of its way and become the ruler of the whole world. I mean, you can just see that quote lighting up the internet, right? But what's the real story here? Where did this actually truly come from? Well, it turns out this massive, world-changing prophecy, it doesn't come from some ancient book. It wasn't recorded in front of a huge crowd. It comes from one guy, a Soviet writer named Valentin Sidorov. He claims he was in a private meeting with Vanga, and that's what she said. He is the one, the single solitary source for this entire thing. And here's the twist. It's a really important one. In his own writing, Sidorov, again, the only witness, he made it clear that he thought Vanga was talking about Russia's spiritual leadership, spiritual primacy, not military conquest. But of course, a little detail like that, that's always the first thing to get thrown out the window when a story starts to go viral. And you can see the exact path it took right here. It all starts with that one witness, right? Sidorov's book. Then, Vanga's own niece repeats it in her best-selling books, which gives it that family stamp of approval. After that, Russian TV documentaries start featuring it, giving it the authority of the media. And then, the internet gets a hold of it.
and it just takes over, chopping the quote up, turning it into memes, posts, totally disconnected from where it originally came from. Okay, so let's zoom out a bit. Welcome to post-truth. Because this whole process, from one guy's account to a viral fact, it's the perfect example of a big idea that helps explain our kind of bizarre modern world. Now, we've all heard that term, post-truth, thrown around, but there's a specific academic take on it that is super useful here, and it's probably not what you're thinking. So here's the key distinction, and it's a big one. When most people hear post-truth, they think of a world where truth is dead, right? Where objective facts just don't matter anymore, an absence of truth. But the idea we're digging into here, what academics call post-truth, with the quotes, is the exact opposite. It's not about a lack of truth. It's about having too much truth. It's a world where we are literally drowning in information, and our reality gets built from all the little online posts we see, share, and mash together. So in this post-truth world, we build our reality through something called bricolage. It's a French word, but it basically just means a kind of DIY mashup. Think about it. We take a little bit of science here, a piece of someone's personal story there, maybe a dash of spiritual belief, a clip from the news, and we just kind of piece it all together, assembling a version of the truth that feels right to us. And the Baba Vanga story? It's the perfect blueprint for how this works. Step 1. You start with a core witness, in this case, Sidorov. Step 2. The old school media, like books and TV, blows it up. Step 3, the internet gets it, shatters it into a million little pieces, and remixes it into shareable posts. And finally, step 4, out of all that digital chaos, a new crowdsourced reality just emerges. And that becomes the truth. The truth that Vanga predicted it all. Which brings us to our final point. This is our world now, a world of posts. And the big takeaway here is that this whole Baba Vanga thing, it isn't just some weird isolated story about a psychic. It's a pattern. It's basically a blueprint for how we all figure out what's real these days. I mean, once you see this pattern, you see it everywhere online. It's kind of like a blender, right? We toss in these random fragments of information. Some are legit, some not so much. We mix together different kinds of authority, a scientist's opinion, a friend's story, a wild rumor, and we hit blend. And what comes out is this smooth narrative that's super compelling and, the most important part, super easy to share. Like, look at this quote. It's from one of those online lists of Vanga's predictions. It's terrifying, it sounds specific, and it has absolutely zero context. This is a perfect little nugget of post-truth, an idea that isn't designed to be checked or verified. It's designed for one thing and one thing only, to be shared.
And listen, it's not just about psychics. It happens everywhere. Check out this clip from a news report about a real object from interstellar space. See the mashup? See the bricolage? You've got a real scientific thing, 3-eye atlas, getting mixed with media speculation that it's potentially an alien craft. The pattern is exactly the same. You take a core of fact, you remix it with some exciting speculation, and boom, you have a story that people can't wait to share.
So all of this leaves us with one last pretty big question. The story of Baba Vanga, it really shows us that we're all doing this now. We're all these bricoleurs constantly grabbing digital fragments and piecing together our own version of reality. So in this world of endless posts, maybe the most important question isn't just, is this true or false? Maybe the real question is, what truths are we deciding to build, and what kind of world are we building together?